Welcome to V.M.O Radio, where we talk that talk and, of course, have dope conversations with the four horsemen James, GT, Trey, and Don Grizzle. So come on in and join the conversation. Let's go.
What is something from back in the day that when it happened, you knew exactly what to do?
Hmm. I'm gonna let Grizzle take the first lead on that so I can think about that one for a second.
Okay.
Well, I would say, it really, what are we? I need a little bit more context. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay. I mean, it can be anything.
okay,
Anything at all. Yeah. It ain't got to be too serious. It could be something laugh, play. Like, okay, think about it like this. Like when your TV went out, it started having a static signal. You need to go over there and like slap it a couple times, get it to start back on.
okay, I
Something simple like that.
okay. Well, and that's why, because it's different levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different levels of when you move around in certain environments, and you start seeing certain things and way certain things look, this, that, and the third, and getting out of there. But something like that, something on the light side, you know, that come to mind would be playing the Nintendo 64 back in the day. You know what I mean? Hey, if it wasn't working, you took the cartridge out and you blew into the cartridge, stuck it back in, and then it started working. So, I don't know how we all developed that. Anybody that plays,
Only with Nintendo.
how that was universal, but we that's what we knew to do, and it seemed like it worked. Now it could have been a placebo effect, but yeah, that's just something off the top of the head. Now, if we circle back, uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's a story and a conversation of, what I'm saying, knowing what to do. But yeah, keeping it light, I would say the Nintendo 64, blowing the cartridge, give it a good, and stick that sucker back in there, man.
Oh
You
yeah.
playing
I
dumb
got
thing.
Well,
all
shoot,
right.
got a good one for you. So you said, when your Nintendo 64 ain't working, to pull the cartridge out, blow it, pop it back in, turn it back on, it's gonna work. So that's a situation you already know what to do when it happens. So I'm gonna take it a step further. So if you're walking around like in the mall and you see a group of YNs hanging around and they get to arguing, it's time to turn around, walk right back out that door. Because it's about to get ugly. Because
Yeah.
they have no filter, they have no respect and for anybody. And this you either know it's gonna be a fight that's about to break out, or it's gonna be some gunshots you're gonna hear. So with our generation, we know, okay, so yeah, they bold enough to start arguing right there inside the mall full of people and security. Yeah, it's about to go down. So where's the closest exit? Let me find the closest exit so I can make my exit.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. But that's something that's now. What's something that's back in the day?
Oh, you said back in the day. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, back in the day.
Uh, hmm. Oh, I got a good one. Got a real good one. I'm a reference house party.
Huh?
So kid got that phone call, but when it was report card time, they send that report card home. You already know you gotta hand deliver it to your parents. You
Mm.
done already looked at it before you hand it to them, so you already know it's gonna be an ass whooping when they see it.
Yeah.
What do you do? So in that case scenario, I used to hide my report card and say I didn't get mine yet. Like, yeah, they had a problem in school. They didn't issue out my report card. Mine got lost somewhere in the office, so they got to get it to me. I had to
Yes,
come.
sir.
I had to come up real quick with a master plan to save my booty.
Well, how many times did that work though?
That worked a couple of times.
Oh,
I
I
think,
like the honesty. I
now
like
wait.
the
I
honesty.
think second grade and third grade it worked.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. It had to be some sort of now wait a minute. You done told this 47 times that they seem to not get it out of the paper. You know what? We just gonna go down there.
Yeah, they ain't issuing out report cards this year. They're doing it electronic. It's in the computer system. But yeah, I had to deliver that report card, and what I did was I tried to be smooth about it. Put it on the dining room table where all the mail that they don't never look at be at. So I put it over there. So like, did you bring your report card home? Yeah, I've been brought that home. When? Last week. So I had a whole week to live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But then when she finally opened it up and looked at it, the storm gates opened.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I got something good too for this one though. Yeah. So from back in the day, I stayed in apartments. So you know what I'm saying? We all knew that every time when that street light came on, we had to run to the house.
And you ain't even old enough to know about the street lights. That's my generation.
Nah, that's my generation too. That's my generation too. Tell you, man, all the time, everybody ran. And she right there waiting at the door. My mom was right there waiting at the door all the time. If she ain't see me running, trying to make an effort, you know, she gonna pop me with that belt. Get your ass in this house. Calm down. I'm here. I'm here. I'm still alive. She ain't seen me all day. I've been going all day outside. 8, 10 hours. As soon as that street light come on, oh, okay. All right.
And see, you ain't even have to have no watch back then. You knew what time it was when the lights came on. It's time to go in the house.
That's right. That's right. It was the best time. Not at all.
Only disadvantage about that is I moved back into the neighborhood I grew up in, and we ain't hardly have street lights because it's a dark neighborhood. The only street lights we had was in certain people's backyard. So if we playing basketball in one of them backyards and the street light came on, we stayed and played another game because now we had some light. But we could hear our parents calling our names from the distance. So yeah, it's time to go, fellas.
Yeah, yeah. You hear the ones that's all walking, trying to sneak in the house all late, getting a whooping. Ah! Ah! Stop! Stop! Laughing at them and shit. Yeah, man. So
So
we
either
had the
jump
street
back on
light
that
right at
bike
the
or jump over the
basketball.
gate.
Hmm?
Either get on that bike and ride home or jump the gate.
Facts. Facts. But yeah, man. That was good times, man. Ain't pay no bills or nothing. Mm.
If I could ever go back in time, I'd go back to the 80s.
The 80s.
I relive the 80s. Those were the good days.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
No responsibility. Adulting is overrated.
It
my,
is.
my mama didn't prepare me for the light bill, the water bill, the rent, food. She didn't
Nah,
prepare me.
none. What about credit? What's credit? I don't
Right,
even know about credit. You got to be approved for this much. Got to make 3 times the rent. 3 times the rent.
right.
Do you make 3 times the rent? No. All right.
That's why a lot of people our age are living back with their parents.
Facts, especially nowadays.
They said I'm going back into the 80s. Y'all need anything? I'm going back to my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, if that's the case, all I gotta do is go through my backyard and hop the gate.
Mama.
Let's come on back in through the back door.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a different question because I mean, you know, saying and picking back off of that just made me think.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is that show? Oh yeah, the show I think is called Married at First Sight. So it can kind of be a 2-part question thing, which is, do you think you can marry somebody at first sight? Like, I mean, full wedding, you never seen them before, marry him. But actually, on this particular show, there was a guy that was still in his parents' basement. Now, a little bit different, because most people think like, okay, he living in a parent's basement, he ain't got no job, he lazy, just on the video games and everything like that. But his backstory was, he had actually, had a big house, and it was just him, and he was like, yo, like, it's just me, I don't really have a wife, and things like that. Why don't I, kind of downscale, sell the house, move back in with my parents. Because I think he had like a work from home job or something like that anyway. But the long or the short, he wound up being there and he was going on the show. And so he tells his wife, you know what I'm saying, on the night that they get married with all of their family, her family, their family, and he break it to her that he's living in his parents' basement, and her face just goes into straight panic mode because it's like she wasn't prepared for that. So, just in thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, could you ever see yourself in a position where, like you said, hey, it might be a convenient to move back in with the parents to be able to springboard or whatever?
Okay, so is the question move back in with the parents, save up some money, or would you try Married at First Sight?
Either or. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a two-part question. Whatever you want to answer. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might feel more, could I marry somebody? You might feel like that. It's just conversation. You know what I'm saying? Just conversation.
All right. GT, I'm gonna let you take the lead on that one. You got it.
Man, if I was still living at my mom's house and then tried to get married and I ain't got no money to get a place, then that wedding gonna be dumb. We're gonna be married for 3 days. Cause she gonna be like, this end where it broke. Cause a woman's main thing is she wants to feel safe, secure, protected. And she ain't gonna feel that living in your parents' house with your parents. Now it's a different scenario if you got your own crib and your mother lives with you or your father lives with you because you take care of them because they may be elderly or they might have something going on and you their keeper, their caregiver. But it's a difference if even if you got a job, a work from home job, but you still living at your mama house. That's showing that other person that I can't survive out here in these streets on my own. I gotta live with mama. That's like Jody on Baby Boy. He don't want to leave mama's crib, and you got two grown people living in the same house, and mama gotta have a life too. But you trying to be all up in her mix, and you trying to keep her from dating dudes like Melvin, but she trying to get you out the house because you got your own thing going on. You got a baby with Yvette, so you need to be over here with Yvette, and y'all need to work your thing out over here. Get out my house. So they want to feel safe and secure. And if you can't give them that, then ain't no need of trying to get married because you ain't got your priorities straight.
Facts. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna do the Married at First Sight. Cause this show that me and my wife we watch a lot, like all the time. So just from watching the show, I understand that the matchmakers they try to set you up with somebody that's compatible with who you are. It's not just like a complete stranger, like, hey, I meet you, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? They know a good bit about you, know a good bit about this person for y'all to be able to make it work and mesh well together. So I'm gonna try to Marry at First Sight.
So,
We're gonna see how it goes, make sure, I got all my stuff together. She got all her stuff together. I know just what my red flags are. I need for her to understand what I bring to the table and what she brings to the table. As long as she, checks most of my boxes or check most of hers, we can try to make it work. But I also like this about Married at First Sight. that if it don't work in these like first month, we can get a nice annulment and we good to go. All right, I get to keep all my stuff. You can keep all your stuff. It ain't that like I'm losing 50% of my stuff. Nah.
Oh, she taking half. She taking half.
Nah.
She gonna come in there with a chainsaw like Medea. I want half this couch, half this TV. She taking half.
Yeah. But yeah, nah, that's how I would just go about that. What about you, Don?
Yeah. I mean, to me, I think because, like you said, it still is marrying a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody you met, like you said. I know they do the compatibility things, but see, even on that, I kind of question it to some degree because it's like, what about on this particular season or whatever? What about this young lady's profile said that she would be okay with a man living in his parents' basement? So to me, that was y'all kind of set her up. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because if you said compatibility test, and y'all running through his background, y'all running through her background, and y'all really are trying to best fit, then in my opinion, like, what about her, said like, oh yeah, she gonna be totally cool with that. That's gonna be the least of their problems. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know, but marrying somebody, at first sight, I think like it's not really okay. I'm gonna take something, and I'm gonna take something that my nephew put me on to, because I talked to him early this week, and he was geeked up. He got a new young lady in his life, and everything like that, and he got a promotion at his job, and so stuff is just starting to click. But when he met this young lady, this was one of his qualifications, and I said, these new young cats is different, but I think I understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I had never heard nobody say this before. So I told him I was gonna take this, but he was like, so like, man, don't get me wrong. I'm 30. I'm at an age I'm at a place where in my life, man, I done did, all the baddies and da 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 da. He was like, so at this point, I just need to see her and get rocked up. He was like, if my D get hard, then that's all the compatibility I need. You know what I'm saying? As far as being attracted to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people might say, oh, well, she got to have a bubble butt and she got to have tig old bitties and, whatever. He was like, look, if I'm attracted to her enough where I get rocked up, I'm good. I was like, that's different. That is really different. But I understand because we've had a conversation amongst us before when we talked about medium ugly. So I think that kind of falls in that kind of category that even if she might be medium ugly, as long as I get rocked, I'm good. So you know what I'm saying? That being said, to tie it into, marrying somebody at first sight, I'm gonna use what nephew said. Like if I see her at first sight and you know what I'm saying, the Johnson jump, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Hey, now we need to get into what her heart's like, what her soul like, the way she think, you know what I mean? Like what are her goals, aspirations, ambitions, and things like that. But clearing the table at first sight, you know what I mean? Now,
I got you.
I don't understand, and maybe y'all can tell me, but I don't understand how you don't look at somebody and at least see some type of spark or attraction, right?
Yeah, you need a spark. Yeah.
Well, the reason why I say that is because some people say, and even on the show, I watch where, like we can work on that. I can come around, to where I'm like, that's gotta be number one. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't
Facts.
know you skip if there's no initial spark of attraction in the beginning when somebody sees somebody. So yeah, that would be me. As long as it go like that, then I think I could do the married at first sight thing.
I'm gonna have to disagree
Okay.
because for one, and this is why I say that, because we as men are visual, of course. So looks may play a part, but if you are the type of person that's been in a relationship, like you could have, like he said, he dated all the baddies. In my past, if you look at my ex-wife, my son's mother, you see they're beautiful. But it don't matter how beautiful somebody is because what kind of personality do they have? Are they toxic? Are they crazy? Are they controlling? Are they possessive? Because if you got all of that, I don't care if you Halle Berry fine, that's gonna turn me off because now, oh, I got the finest chick, but she crazy as hell. So yeah, I got to get away from her. So now, if you are in a bad relationship and it's a toxic relationship and you have been going through nothing but hell in that relationship and you are ready to get away from that relationship, it could be a girl on a level from 1 to 10. She could be a 3, but she gives you that time, that affection, that attention, and that shoulder to cry on, or she's a pillow princess and will talk to you. Now you feel secure and safe with her. It don't matter about her looks because now I'm compatible with her because she listens to me. My ex didn't listen to me at all, but this one does. So
Oh,
now you feel like, okay, well, now I'm attracted to you because you're everything that I wanted her to be, but she wasn't that, but you are. Even though you don't look like her, like you don't even really look like my type, but you took the time to listen to me to get to know me. They didn't. So now, oh yeah, I can be attracted to you. Of course, even when the lights turn out, you can't see nothing no way, so you're gonna get hard anyway. So we men. So of course, that's why you see whenever you can be out walking, be like, how in the world did they hook up? Like they don't even look right together. That could be the scenario. He could have been the one that wasn't like her toxic ex. He was the one that listened to her. He was the one that helped her out of that situation, helped her get that rent paid or whatever the case may be. That's why she went to this ugly dude. And you looking like, ain't no way. I know I look better than him. And she with him? You got to look at them kind of scenarios because
but
I did that myself.
okay, respectfully. But here's the thing
Mm.
about that. The difference in the framework of the conversation is married at first sight. See,
I was about to get to that. I was about
no,
to
no,
get to that.
well, what I'm saying is seeing somebody at first sight because everything that you explain is stuff that happened down the road after you find out about somebody. That's why I'm saying there is a precipice of if we saying you gonna marry somebody just off of seeing them, because you don't know if they toxic, you don't know if they gonna listen or if they interrupt you or anything like you don't know none of that.
Facts.
That's actually gonna be later in the relationship or at least in the time that you get to kind of see each other. I'm saying from the get go, you know what I'm saying. You got to marry this person, and the first time you see them, you know what I'm saying? You got to say, am I in or am I out based on seeing them? That's different. But I'll let you, elaborate. I just want to make sure.
But now we got that option to where we can get to know somebody because like certain cultures, they already have somebody picked out for you. Just like think about coming to America when he met Imani. She was already picked out a groom for him, and she said he was like, "What do you like? Whatever it is you like. What music you listen to? Whatever music you listen to." So that
Mm-hmm.
was she was ready to marry him, but he was like, "I want to get to know you. I ain't just gonna jump into no marriage, and I don't know nothing about you." Even though she
Mm-hmm.
came from a rich family, he came from a rich family. She was already put in place to marry him, and some cultures they still do that. So first time meeting, oh, we getting married today. And it's my first time meeting you. So they make it work. But then they could be 15, 20 years into an unhappy marriage, but they gotta continue that marriage because that marriage was set by their families. So especially in royalty, you can't break that bond that was put together by the king.
What,
Okay.
But
what
we don't
about
live in that type of society. So now we got the option to choose. Like, I ain't about to marry no chick at first sight. She could be a killer. Like she could have some warrants. I don't know. Like I need to like, let me do a background check first to see if this chick done killed somebody.
So basically, what you're saying, it's a no for you to marry anybody at first sight. That's
Yeah,
what.
I'm right.
Okay.
Okay, I was about to say that too. I was about to say that. Yeah. You know what, Don? I see what you're doing, man. You about to be on the show, ain't you?
Uh,
Either that or naked and afraid.
Definitely. I watched one episode of that, and I said, "You got to be out your rabbit ass mind to go out in the wilderness with absolutely nothing." And listen, we evolved. We came from Adam and Eve. Okay, so I don't think there's no reason that we need to go back. And damn show for not what they're doing. But
I contemplated it.
Oh, really?
I contemplated it several times. Like I can do that. I know what not to do now.
Yeah, man. They be passing out on that show, man. All kind of shit be happening on Naked and Afraid.
That's because they don't get along with each other. You got to have communication with your partner. Like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to team up. We're going to build this hut together first. Then we're going to hunt some food. And that's where they mess up because one be arguing about how they going to fix a tent or fix the little HUD where they can live. And then the other one like, well, I don't feel like doing that. And you do it all by yourself. And that's where the confusion come in. When you on one accord in the beginning, all right, this going to be a teamwork effort. We're going to build together. We're going to hunt together. We're going to eat together. We're going to survive together.
this is very interesting and very telling about your character, GT. Because I want to highlight and a special point that if I understand you correctly, you would not marry somebody off of first sight. You would like to get it on, which is okay. But then you would go on a show and be naked and afraid and
Facts.
yeah. Okay. Hey.
You can have that. You can have that. That's all you, man.
But that's different. It only has to make sense to him. I respect it. I just be clear. Okay.
Hello and thank you for tuning into tonight's episode. That's right. Yeah, let's go. Also, this is V.M.O. Radio. Remember, V.M.O. stands for Voicing My Opinion. That's right. And that's what James, Trey, GT, and Don Grizzle will be doing every single week. Yes, you can listen to us on all streaming platforms. You can also connect with us on YouTube and IG at VMO Radio. That's right. VMO Radio.